You like my modified setup?
It's great.
The conference room?
You look so official with your
Thank you.
Boston and your fun shirt with
Rogue. Rogue for
Rogue.
you. Aren't
I'm not
they
a Rogue fan.
the only EU team that made it to like quarters, or
That's true. That's true. That's true.
I think they made it the furthest out of all the EU teams, I think.
It's a sad, sad
Yeah.
NAEU show.
Yeah. Okay. Welcome everybody. Hopefully I'm not going to be too laggy. I should shut off Twitch and other sites that are probably going to slow me down. But yes, Boca
Yes.
Live. I'm here with
Melanie.
Melanie.
Artemis
Uh,
Lake.
and yeah, we obviously love to talk about the news stories from esports gaming. It's been really slow. I've been reading the daily download and been like, good thing we don't have a new show every day to do because it's been pretty weak.
Good thing we're slackers.
But all the drama is on Twitter. And so I feel like we might as well, let's just jump in. So big changes. Musk took over last week or Monday. No, he took over, I think, on Friday. Start us off. What do you think? What are your thoughts
I
as a
think he's
casual Twitter
crazy,
user?
so I don't know how it's gonna go. I get tired of like people idolizing him as like this, ooh, he made something of himself.
Totally.
And I'm like,
Yeah.
no, he's got money. It takes money to get more money. So that doesn't mean doesn't mean he's terrible, but that also doesn't mean he is just like amazing business person. Like there's people with smaller businesses that are better at business than he is. And then in the back of my mind, I got pretty far in some Twitter interviews at one point, and now I'm like, I'm glad I didn't get those jobs because I'm glad I'm not stressed at the chaos that's probably occurring right now in Twitter.
True. Yeah. Definitely. So are you a regular Twitter user?
Yes.
Like how often are you tweeting, let's say?
I actually don't tweet personally a lot, but I do socials for other companies, and then I follow a lot of people because, like, a lot of education, which is my background, and a lot of esports are focused on Twitter. So I eventually just got on it, and so I do a lot of like reposting and things like that. I write like a lot of I love it. It would help Facebook. I think he could help Facebook. I think he's going to kill Twitter, but Facebook sucks. So,
Yeah. Now, if you are a Tesla shareholder, aren't you pissed? Like, this is what I was thinking of. Like,
oh,
okay,
did the
he's the
shares go
CEO.
down?
He's obviously spending a lot of time at Twitter. He is needed as the CEO of Tesla.
Is he?
I mean, I think
Is he?
the company, like his famous like tweets about sleeping on the floor of production, and I think he is really involved. But even so, like, if you're a shareholder of one company, how do you feel about your CEO like doing something completely different that I would definitely argue is very
As
much
somebody
ego
who didn't
driven?
like their CEO for a while
Yeah.
at multiple companies, I'd be like, peace, get somebody else running the show. You suck. So maybe
Yeah.
I'm just in one of those moods today. I'm like,
Yeah.
it could be a really good thing because a lot of CEOs fuck it up for. Ooh, am I allowed to say that?
Yeah. Yeah. I'm going to drop like 8 F-bombs very shortly.
A lot of CEOs run their companies and their people to the ground, and it's really the team, the like C-level team and the leadership team buffering the rest of the company from the CEO crazy. They
Yeah.
occasionally have good ideas, and some of them are good at like being public facing and making it look like it's all theirs. But I am not sold that the CEO is the main person and reason why a company makes it or breaks it. I kind of
Yeah.
believe they can break
Okay.
it. That's my personal experience
Yeah.
and opinion.
Definitely a lot of cases where that's the case. And I do think in a lot of cases, a CEO does make it or break it. WeWork is a good example of the break it category.
I
Here's
think
what I
it's
do
more
like.
likely that they break it because if they make it, it's because they know that they need strong people around them. They're
Yeah.
a good leader.
true. What I do like, here's what I do like. Let's start with the positives. One, I admire. Do you know the term like "fuck you" money? You know what I mean by that?
Oh,
When
I
you have
have
money
not
that you
heard that
can,
one.
kind of. How do I describe "fuck you" money? I don't
Where my
know.
mind went was probably not appropriate. So,
Like it's money that you have that you people didn't think you would have, but now you
oh,
have
okay.
could spend like
Okay.
that. Okay. So
Yeah.
that's fuck you money. So yeah, you know what? He could have just been like a hedonistic glutton and just, mansions and boats, and maybe he does all have all that. Like that's typically what you do with your FU money. But like
Yeah.
he bought something cool, and I admire that. Um,
Yeah.
I think that he has a political view, and he felt that this platform was being censored, and I think that's for sure motivated by it. And he wants to make it different, and like it or not, again, I don't know why this is like a left versus right issue. I think because there haven't been prolific figures on the left that have been banned and deplatformed, but I think both sides would agree that you don't want to be policing. And I'm glad that he's not policing. I think it's great that Kanye West is back on. I don't know, is Trump back on? If Trump gets back on, I think it's great. And this is a huge win for free speech, which, that's where I stand. Oh, we got a bunch of comments too. Whoops. I do. Forget what that was referencing. Maybe the fuck you money. I forget. But thank you for the comment, Lenny and Steve
Steve
Jobs.
Jobs
Yeah,
was similar. I was thinking of him. Thank you, Ryan.
right. But also, he didn't have the chance to break it. He only had the chance to make it.
I mean, he broke Apple for a little bit.
Yeah, it's true. I guess you always have. You always have
I
time to break it.
I disagree with you.
Okay, good.
I
Disagree.
think free speech can only be free with parameters. I think if you just let it be free, then the people in power will dominate and put down the people not in power. It's just too easy. Everyone's subject to it. I'm not saying it's just like a white man problem. I've seen it happen in all different types of people and orgs. As soon as you get power, it's really easy to abuse it. So I am a big fan of I'm a big fan of like, as a society, we might need some parameters to keep everyone safe. The fact like that certain words just exploded in use on Twitter all of a sudden, that shows a huge issue with our society, in my opinion. And like, I think if you're using free speech, it's to be like, I think that we should do, raise our taxes over not raising our taxes or something like that. But I'm not using racial slurs. I'm not putting people down. I'm not being a total jerk on the internet. Like,
Okay,
those are
so
two
you
different
have to
things to
qualify
me.
that, right? So you have to qualify that. Are you being deplatformed because of what you are saying on the platform, or are you being deplatformed because of actions you do in real life? And if you are going to go down the road, Kanye to me is it's an easier way to say he should be banned because his actions were on the platform. He made anti-Semitic things there. To me, it's much harder to justify the Trump banning because he didn't say anything. He didn't say anything offensive or hateful on Twitter. He was banned because of his involvement in January 6th. So now you have to go down that route and say, okay, so what actions are people taking in real life that would justify being deplatformed? So what about murderers? There are a lot of people who've committed murder that are on Twitter. A lot of people who are rapists that are on Twitter. A lot of people who are pedophiles and child abusers. You know what I mean? Like if we're judging by actions and what you've done and saying that these are the parameters for being on the platform, it's impossible. You can never win that game. So I think it has to be purely based on what you say on Twitter.
I disagree
But
because
tell me I'm wrong. Tell me I'm wrong.
I think influence has a huge, thank you. I think influence has a big piece to it. I think that if I say something or do something, it does not have the impact that somebody of influence does. And it does, and like I know that's unfair, but it's also unfair. I don't get paid for being on Twitter either, right? Like I'm not making money. I'm not influencing huge communities. I'm not influencing Twitch to make decisions. I'm not getting a Tesla from Twitch or YouTube. Like it's like it's the Spider-Man quote, with great power comes great responsibility.
Yeah.
And so I just, like, sucks, sorry, but you have to be careful. We've talked about this many times, and I think I tend to lean towards, if you are a public facing person, as somebody who used to be an elementary teacher and held to a freaking high standard of, like, I couldn't even post even being at a bar. So don't at me. I've been there. It sucks. But if you are in that, you are influencing society, and society has a right to be like, we don't like that influence. Sorry.
Yeah. You want to? So Ryan's jumping in. Well, firstly, you have some fans, Melanie.
Of course I do.
I think if we polled the audience, I'm on the losing end of this one. I totally understand. I totally get it.
I'm not saying you should ban everything and everyone should be banned. I do think a lot of thought, especially for a public, I don't think they're like, oh, they said something wrong, let's take them down. I do think you should have a whole committee and a whole group of people dedicated to thinking through what they said, who does it impact, what does taking them down impact, and should it be temporary? I'm more of a fan of like temporary bans, like let's take a time out, right? Versus just like kicking them out altogether. But I just,
that's nuts. It's not to me. Yeah. Again, I really distinguish between the Andrew Tate deplatforming and the Trump. Like, I don't know how I hear what you're saying. So with great power comes great responsibility. People that have bigger followings should be held to a higher standard. I agree. But again, we're still judging someone on their actions outside of the platform. And that's really what I have a hard time with. And I think we're going to see
I feel like
that
if we looked
the new
through
Twitter.
Trump's tweets, you could read through the lines on a lot of them,
Yeah.
and he should have been taken down a while ago. Like,
But
I'm
again,
sorry. I
you know,
think that maybe we just read his tweets with different perspectives in life, because I don't think people should say some of the things he said.
okay. But again, Twitter never banned him before. Like, he could have said all the things. And I'm sure there are bad tweets, but that was not what got him kicked off.
Yeah. No, I think other things he said on Twitter should have gotten him kicked off, but they had some grace with him.
Maybe the judgment factors in all these other things.
And it should be a diverse group. It shouldn't be just one person. It should be people from all walks of life in this committee, because diversity matters, and it's a huge thing. I think every social media platform should have it. I think TikTok sometimes bans things too easily. And I don't even know what goes on Facebook anymore. Sorry, Facebook. So
it's done. Okay, one more question for you, and then let's just pivot to a couple other parts about Twitter.
Yeah, I'm running out of time.
Oh yeah, we're almost out of time. So in the case, let's say athletes, okay? Again, people with influence are accused or even found guilty of sexual misconduct, things like that. Should they be kicked off? Should they be kicked off social media?
Like, that one's a hard one. It depends on, again, I think the amount of influence you need to measure into that, and like, was it done to like an individual person? I don't know. I struggle with, like, if you're getting convicted for like sexually assaulting somebody, like, I'm okay with you not having your platform anymore, at least for a little while. I don't think that we have harsh enough judgments on those types of things in general. So if it's, you get banned from Twitter for a little bit, I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
But
okay.
I am a woman, so I'm like, I take that perspective in as like, I want to protect the weak and the people who are taken advantage of. So of course I'm going to be like, yes, there should be consequences, even if it's societal ones.
Yeah, or even white collar crime. What about the guy who stole $23 million in crypto, from a scam? Like, do criminals, whether they're alleged or found guilty, do they have a place? What about?
I mean, I think there's definitely a difference between alleged and guilty. like that has a different weight. And no, I don't
No,
think if you
not in
stole
not
a
in social media. It doesn't. It doesn't make any difference.
no, and I'm not part of like I don't want to like cancel everyone.
Yeah.
But I do think maybe the guy who stole a bunch of money shouldn't be able to give you finance advice on like he shouldn't be doing finance threads and being like, "Hey everyone, this is how I made my money."
Yeah. And that's
I
true. I
don't
mean, we
know.
do see um
I'm so tired of those threads. If you're a threader, please stop. Keep it to 2 or 3. Thanks.
we do see that happen. Like
Yeah.
I'm trying to think. Like in white collar crime, you know, if you've done something with like stocks, you'll be banned from
Mhm.
trading for 2 years. Yeah, we do see a punishment related to your area. Um, okay, last thing, let's talk blue check mark. Very controversial.
I
Um,
know. I'm gonna say I'm not a fan.
I'm not
I'm
a
not a
fan.
fan. I'm a fan of having some way to pay to verify yourself. But that doesn't keep people from being fake and bots. Like,
Yeah,
sorry. I do think that there is something really fun and interesting in being able to earn via influence and hard work and obviously networking, connecting, and having money all impact those. But I will miss having the like people earned the check mark versus I already see people being like, I paid my $8, I'm verified. And I'm like, that just doesn't have the same feel as being like, oh, even if you knew somebody and that like I have a friend that knew somebody so they got verified and like that's still a better story than I can pay $8 a month.
yeah. What about the balance between you have people that are multi millionaires and billionaires on the platform and really don't pay anything, or like are Twitter's unable to monetize from people that have made billions off the bill? I shouldn't say that. There's ads, of course, but like,
Hmm.
should these
I
people
think
pay something?
I think that you could have two separate things. They don't have to be the same. I think you could have they could have introduced a new way to verify yourself or have like some different type of like levels. I think a lot more thought could have been put into it than just you can pay to get verified. As somebody who likes product marketing and like coming up with ways to incentivize people and like the psychology of people, like I just think they could have slowed down. This is my problem with Elon is he rushes forward through things and you don't slow down and figure out how can you get people excited about the changes. Instead, he just like and like people who like it, people who hate it, and it's always a controversy. You get talked about it, but is it really going to help your product excel and help your community grow? And I don't think the $8 check mark is the right decision. I think they could have put way more thought into it, had a lot of campaigns around it, get some influencers in on it, and you would have had a lot more people pay for whatever you're producing than the check mark. Because most of us are like, I don't care enough. I'm not gonna
Yeah.
pay it. And a millionaire, $8 is nothing. So like they don't
Well,
care and they don't care if
Ryan's
they're verified.
suggesting making it 50 grand to buy, or you can earn it for free.
Yeah, like games, right? It's like buying a skin. I can either buy my skin or I can earn it. Buy the battle
Yeah.
pass. Come on.
Yeah. Okay. We have time for one last thing.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
One last. Okay. I like the fact that on both sides that Elon and AOC have like this great public trolling of each other on Twitter. I think it shows character. I kind of
Yeah.
like that a politician is edgy and is
Hmm.
challenging someone
Yeah.
that is as big and powerful and famous as Elon Musk. And I
Yeah.
like that he fights back and he doesn't
Yeah.
take her BS or her criticism and goes for it. And they're both at each other. To me,
Yeah.
it's a win on both sides. What do you
I
think? Do you
agree.
like that, or yeah?
Yeah. I like personality. As long as you're not abusive. But yeah, with those two, I don't agree with either one of them full heartedly, but do I have fun watching it? Yes. And I think usually it causes society to have really good conversations and people to decide where they're at. And I like that people can decide like on a spectrum like where they're at on it and that
Yeah,
you can a huge thing with like my friends and family that I'm talking now is like two things can both be true and they can both be correct in certain ways, but you as a person need to decide and then as a society we need to decide
yeah.
via voting, go vote.
Good point. Okay, I lied when I said that was the last thing. I have one last tweet to read.
Yeah.
Okay, so listen, this happens after every election, probably in every country, but especially in the United States, is that people on the losing side will say, "I'm moving to Canada." Right? This is Republicans said this when Obama won, that they can't stand Obama, they're moving to Canada. After Trump won, and it's ridiculous. Nobody does. I feel like they had some numbers at one point. Anyway, this is someone, I'm going to read a tweet.
Canada, the promised land.
If Elon Musk takes over Twitter and brings Donald Trump back, I will be leaving this country. I got my passport last week when I heard he might buy Twitter. Firstly, this has been like 6 months ago that he decided to buy Twitter. But anyway, instead, I'll be moving to a civilized country, the gorgeous Canada. So long, America. You've just lost a citizen. Bye. And to me, this is hilarious on so many levels. Firstly, okay, maybe I can understand that if a president disagrees with your views, that you would want to leave. Maybe that's still such a stretch. But to say that that Twitter now is going to be like so detrimental to your life to have Donald Trump on Twitter and maybe other people that like you can't even be in this country. I really want to know what state she lives in. You can't even be in this country. It's unbelievable. And you know what the funny thing is, Emily? There's Twitter. What's different? What's different about your life?
Yeah.
Still on Twitter, whether you're in the United States or in Canada. And believe me, Canada is worse. I'll tell you that. I've been there and I left and I'm here. So like, yeah,
You have opened my eyes
people.
to Canada a little bit. I think we're all taught that Canada is like this magic promised land of like happiness and positivity.
No, it's not. Do you want to wait like 4 months to get a knee replacement when you can get it in like 2 weeks here in the United States?
Yeah.
Do you want to have like your bank accounts could be frozen if you donated to a certain campaign? I can go on, and don't get me wrong, there's a lot of great things about Canada. The list is getting shorter and shorter. But again, for this person to say I'm leaving the United States because Trump's gonna be on Twitter to go to Canada is so stupid. And like thank God everyone called her out on that.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm sharing.
Yeah. Especially if you have experience with Canada. I think too, like every country's messed up. Like
Yeah.
we're watching England get all crazy. You just go anywhere and you're like, oh, they all have their extreme sides and it's messy. I didn't get to read that comment because I was thinking through my thoughts.
Oh, sorry.
You're too quick. AOC should be
sorry.
the new CEO of Tesla. They just to watch the back and forth. Yeah, there we go. It's like pay-per-view.
Yeah, and then again, he called her. A lot of people called her out on her shirts are $58 for an AOC like tax the rich shirt. You know, like just sort of the irony of that. You know.
Yeah. But then you would argue, so me being you also don't want to feed into fast fashion. So if you want higher quality and not fast fashion, then you have to pay more. And that would be an argument that I hear.
Yeah. I will confess, I recently bought a Ron DeSantis t-shirt and it's made in America and the quality is garbage. It's unwearable. It's like putting on like sandpaper. So either you're really cheaping out so that you can like maximize, because it's a donation too, right? So you can maximize the donation, or like let's just start buying stuff from China again because this made in America quality was terrible.
Yeah, I do that
shirt.
too.
Yeah.
I paid extra for a shirt, and then when I got it, I was like, why did I pay so much? I don't like the brand that much. I need some quality.
Yeah. Where's this made?
Pull out the brand.
Made in the UK. Well, this is Raven. Guys, if you don't know Raven.gg, the best esports jerseys. And again, jerseys are usually, because they're polyester or whatever materials, lycra and things like, they're often not breathable. I wear this to the beach and I'm like, cool.
Oh, nice.
Like it's so breathable.
Yeah, I don't like jerseys.
Yeah, but
it's comical to me that they make jerseys unbreathable and so stuffy and uncomfortable. Like,
look at
why call it a jersey?
Does it say where it's made? I'd have to take it off, and I'm not going to do that on stream. But yes, anyway. All right, that's all
No,
for
you
the
got to get your
daily.
$8 to be verified somehow, Ben.
Should I tell you where my nice hat is? Probably like Cambodia, China. Yeah, exactly. Look, China, but like great quality, really good quality. You know?
I don't know if it's like, I guess some people question the quality. It's more like how bad is it for the environment
Yeah, probably bad.
with fast fashion.
But this is a very eco-minded brand, Seattle Athletics from Montreal. So I feel like they probably sourced it well, even though it's in China.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. No esports or gaming news. I think we just had to like get it all out
I feel
about
like
Twitter.
it's going to impact esports and gaming though, because they're all so heavily reliant on Twitter.
Yeah. Yeah. Kanye West is back on Twitter. I support that. Of course I do.
You would.
Well, you might have thought because I'm Jewish that maybe I didn't, but I do.
No, I think you are the type of person that'll
I'm
put your
consistent with
personal,
my
like,
values.
yeah. Your freedom of speech is higher.
Yeah. I'm not like, oh, when it comes to my own religion or, things like that, it's different. No. I believe everybody should be given a
I will
second
say that
chance.
is a good quality about you, Ben. Like you're like,
Thank
I
you.
don't care.
I'm consistent.
It sucks
I'm
for me
consistent.
too, but
Yeah.
I'm not always that consistent, so I appreciate it.
Yeah. But I mean, like, I couldn't buy Yeezys now. I just feel like people in my community would criticize me too much. So I guess I'll have to give in to certain things.
Yeah.
Can't wear Yeezys to synagogue.
I dare you.
If they weren't like $200, I would. Yeah.
Do it for a bit.
Yeah. All right. Thanks so much for tuning in. So yeah, we are live on YouTube, Boca Ben channel, LinkedIn, Twitter. We're live on Twitter, of course, talking about Twitter. So thanks so much
Use
for
Twitter.
watching. We'll be back next Thursday.
Yeah.
See you guys next Thursday. Oh wait, oops, I was too early.